If there were only Earth without human beings, if there were only human beings without civilizations, if there were only civilizations without connections to the legacies of the past, if we had everything but the ability to hear.
我爱西安，
我爱西安。
羊肉泡馍真好吃。
你好，
我要羊肉泡馍。We're coming to China. Its origins are lost. 得，完了！我兜里有点吃的。
In fact, these are the sounds of the Silk Road 2,000 years ago. The boisterous streets, busy street markets, and throngs of tourists.
你们的鼓掌不够，我们给我大鼓掌！
你的中文说的真好呀。
还行。
I'm from the United States. I've been living in China for 14 years. My Chinese name is Cao Cao. Every Chinese knows this name because the real historic Cao Cao was a true big shot more than 2,000 years ago. The two characters help many Chinese remember me.
快到喽！
Chinese people usually drive themselves when traveling in their country. They have more free time and freedom of choice that way. They can stop to take pictures, which wouldn't be possible if they travel by air or by train. The route from Xi'an to Dunhuang is the most popular for those travelers driving on their own along the Silk Road. The building quality of the expressway here is very high. Out here, there's no need to be hasty. More than 2,000 years ago, this constituted the beginning of the Silk Road for the Chinese, and the ending of it for the foreigners.
So I also discovered something very interesting about the Silk Road, which is this. Every city along the way has its own sound. Now here we are in Xi'an, we're about to take off, but what is the sound of Xi'an? Well, let's go listen.
Xi'an is one of the four most ancient capitals of the world civilizations. It has been the capital for the longest period of time in Chinese history because it was specifically chosen by most dynasties as a beacon of central power. It's an amazingly influential city. It's the beginning of China's Silk Road. There are many historic sites. Xi'an is so well known today that you can get information about it anywhere, from books to magazines and websites. Today, I want you to hear the real sounds of Xi'an. Some people say sounds may be the only piece of history which is impossible to conserve. But I don't agree.
那个，我问您一个问题好不好 ？OK， 就是如果啊，你得定义，西安是什么声音，那会是什么声音呢？什么声音定义西安？
那我不知道。
啊？什么？
陶熏。
陶熏，熏是什么东西？
吹的东西。
这东西，这怎么吹？我再看一下。
这样。就这样。
不太会，吹的怎么样？你们觉得？没听。
听见呜。
啊，我为什么吹不出来声呢？
你那个。
我都堵上了。
后边还没堵。
都堵上了，堵上了。
下嘴唇75度角。对。
还行吧。怎么样？你们觉得？
造一阵子。
是，挺棒的吧？
The xun, a little musical instrument, seems to be popular in this city and readily available in business districts, shops, and even subways. What is the origin of this small musical instrument? Xun is the oldest musical instrument in China. It is said the xun was to the Tang dynasty what guitars are to us people of the present. It was the most popular instrument at that time. Listen, isn't this the charming sound of history?
大鼓掌，这唯一一个能吹出来的。
We are traveling in 2 provinces, taking off from Xi'an in Shansi province and arriving in Dunhuang in Gansu province via Yongchang, Zhangye and the Jiayuguan Pass. We enjoy driving on the good roads and visiting the historic sites. What would the sound of Lanzhou of Gansu province be?
终于到兰州了，累死我了。
Lanzhou, capital of China's Gansu province, is one of the biggest cities in the northwest. It's an important stop in the middle of the Silk Road. It is also the last big depot on the Silk Road. The Gobi is visible when the Silk Road moves west further. It is a modern city with a convenient communication network. The Yellow River runs through the city. We may get the information on the Silk Road from books, but it does not necessarily mean the Silk Road vanishes because there are some things which never die out.
So here we are in Lanzhou. Now, we said before that every stop along the Silk Road has a certain type of sound. Well, what is the sound of Lanzhou? Well, it's a type of Chinese opera. Now, you saw everyone around me was so excited about this. So I'll shut up and let's just listen to this Lanzhou Chinese opera called Chinching.
Shansi Opera is one of the oldest theaters in China. It came into being in the Qin dynasty more than 2,000 years ago. It was in vogue in the Tang dynasty. On the Silk Road, there are the Sun, which can be whistled, and Shansi Opera, which can be sung.
您好，
你好，你好。
您是
这个博物馆的工作人员。
工作人员
啊，
好，您在这是做什么呢？
研究啊。
哦，您研究？
哦，研究啊。
研究这个秦腔。
就是现在博物馆肯定要研究秦腔的。啊。
找到对人了。
您叫什么呢？
我名字叫曹操。
哎，我跟你叫两边曹操的。
啊，您这。好，那我唱一段曹操的一小段，别太多啊。啊。因为我笨一点，我记不住。
八十
三万下江南。那曹操声音那么高，曹操我觉得应该83万下江南。
听这音量就这样子的啊，跟唱着啊。你现在不是学的秦腔吗？
It is hard to sing the melodies of Shansi Opera. Its lyrics are ancient Chinese prose. No wonder Shansi Opera is a museum piece. It is too difficult to sing it, even for local people. Then should Shansi Opera represent Lanzhou?
那现在我会唱一点这个秦腔，但是。 我还想化那个妆，我问了，他们说正好这边有一个民间的剧场，咱们去试试吧。那咱们进去吧。您是这儿的老板吗？哎，正好，您好，我叫曹操。
啊，你好。
刚才我在那个西茶楼。 我学了一点这个秦腔的唱法，我想做一点这个化这个妆，可不可以？
可以，那你到后边。
到后边，行，谢谢。
你要画个曹操的？
啊，对呀，我就是想画一个曹操，行吗？
Why is my name Cao Cao? It is a very famous figure in China's history. He is a strategist and a statesman, having a superb tactic for warfares. But he's not a weapon of righteousness in Chinese people's eyes. He's also a conspiracy theorist. Many dramas have been written based on Cao Cao's stories. Now I'm wearing the makeup for Cao Cao in a drama.
现在我就特别兴奋，因为我已经有这个名字，曹操已经14年了，但是我从来没打扮成曹操。待会儿我去上台呢，我唱曹操的一小段，打扮成曹操，好玩。83万下江南，江南三军齐胆寒。来，在这儿，大家好。那现在啊，你看我打扮成曹操对吧？我名字本身也就是叫曹操，所以现在我唱一段曹操的歌，好不好？好。OK， 我还没唱过呢，唱完了你们得热情的给我鼓掌，行不行？我给你鼓掌。OK， 好。哎，好 ，OK。83万下江南，江南三军齐胆寒。
Now I am sure what Shansi Opera means for the sound of Lanzhou. Shansi Opera, being a local drama, incorporates the strong accent of this place. The accent, which is wild, tough and rigid sounding, has remained intact for thousands of years.
谢谢大家。拜拜。
I wanted to take this trip on the Yellow River because once we leave Lanzhou, it's going to be our last chance to see it because we're going to head out on the desert roads, open vistas, and we're not going to see a lot of water.
Those people walking on the Silk Road more than 2,000 years ago couldn't imagine vehicles. I can imagine how difficult it was for them to walk on foot. We're going west after leaving Lanzhou, the biggest depot on the Silk Road. The towering snow-capped mountains and the vanishing greenness show a rise in altitude outside of Lanzhou. Yongchang is a very common and small county. You'll see nor hear anything special here. But a couple of sculptures at the square of the county look intriguing. There is a Roman soldier among them. What does that mean?
With a man whose ancestor was a Roman legionnaire. That's pretty interesting.
You're going to talk to them.
Since the descendants of a Roman legion were discovered in Yongchang County in China's Gansu province, many foreign archaeologists have visited the county's Zhelai village. Exchanging with their Chinese counterparts, they have had an interesting find.
而且我们的这个唐代的这个史学家解释，李乾县是怎么来的呀？
对哦，您刚说这词儿，我觉得挺有意思的。这个词儿是新来的还是就从那个时候传过来的？
历史上就有。我们的唐代的我们的经学家解释，
就离乾，离乾，对吧？就是因为这名就是从那个时候来的吗？
对。
这个倒是挺有意思的，为什么呢？因为这个离乾，你们想着，听着像什么呢？罗马兵那个时候2000年前就是叫 legion。
对，
就是在他们的语言，在意大利语，就是拉丁语，就是叫 legion， 而且一直到现在我们还叫罗马兵，就是这个大兵团叫 legion。那这个中文词儿离乾，
对，
这挺像的。
Li Jian is not a word that has only been discovered now. It was recorded in the books of history of the Han Dynasty more than 2,000 years ago. In 36 BC, a Roman legion surrendered and pledged allegiance to the Han reign. It was allocated to Zhelai village of Yongchang County. The place was called Lijian because the Han court referred to Romans as that name. These Romans got their land and livestock and were asked to train Chinese soldiers. Chinese history books have minute records of the strategies and tactics they employed.
你好，
好，家里面来，请来，哎，好，来过来了啊。
These so-called descendants of the Roman legion
黄毛叫成习惯了，叫人那个是反感的，心里不平衡。
在上学的时候，有的同学叫他蓝眼睛，他还有的人叫他英国人、德国人，他就这么叫。
别的孩子说你的时候，你去问了你父母怎么回事？
那我父母亲去世早，也没有。我7岁父亲死了，8岁我母亲走了，也没有问过。
我是从那个94年吧，94年大概这个前后这个时间
，80年呢。
80年发现，
从报纸上看到他有这么这个报道，就是永昌县这里曾经安置过古罗马军团，这个叫报道，我就开始注视这方面的报道和信息了。
那时候就那个后来有了电视人说了，是不是欧洲人的那种血亲关系呢？
那这样吧。现在就是给你爸爸说一句话，就等于什么？爸爸，小时候人也嘲笑你，人也嘲笑我，但是就是我发现了，我们为什么长得这样？
爸爸，那个是呢，我们小时候可能你也是有人嘲笑你嘛，嘲笑我们黄头发蓝眼睛嘛，那个啥，嘲笑过你，有些人觉得很惊奇和奇怪的那种感觉嘛。心里面可能有些不舒畅那种概念和理想。现在不过我们就是现在新的一种感觉就是我们总是罗马人的后代。
爷爷奶奶、爸爸妈妈，这个在小时候很多人认为我们是长相跟别人不一样。现在通过各种媒体报道，这个事情就是可能与这个2000多年前这个遗失的古罗马军团有关系。
I am not 100% sure of whether these people are the descendants of the Roman legion. Then how can we explain what has happened so many centuries Behold the Silk Road. It is a long road with a mysterious history and a mesmerizing landscape. Going west further, we get to Dunhuang, the final stop of our journey. Before that, we have to go through a pass, the most magnificent ancient stopover I've ever
My name's Abby, I'm from New Zealand as well, and I'm loving the Silk Road. It's very fascinating and beautiful and interesting, and the people are very hospitable.
Hola, mi nombre es Pablo, soy de Uruguay y tienen una hermosa ciudad. Acabamos de visitar los templos.
Hola, mi nombre es Federico, de Uruguay. Los felicitamos por esta ciudad divina, el lugar está espectacular. Vamos arriba.
我们现在拍一个节目，就是说丝绸之路，用一句话形容丝绸之路，
非常非常伟大了。
把东方之美带给世界，那肯定是美丽的、神秘的丝绸之路呀，充满一种诱惑，
对，我
有一种魅力，
诱惑的、神秘的、有魅力的。
丝绸之路是中国和世界